Welcome to the Kendy and Raybo podcast, episode 107, recorded in Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre.
Do you know what we haven't said in ages?
What we have not said in ages.
Well, no, you usually say it. Will we start with the beers?
I think we should start with the beers.
Like the old days, huh?
Yeah, you're very loud in my headphones. You're always this loud. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take
That's
it easy. Is that better?
Better.
Okay, now we're settled in. Do you want to get into the beers then? So,
Yes.
these ones were donated by Stephen's Miles
Fair play to Stephen.
in Ballina.
Yeah.
And what did he get us,
Oh,
Raymond?
they're very funny.
He got us them at Christmas, I think.
Yeah, they've been chilling since. They're very funny.
Why? What do you
They're
mean?
farmhouse beers from Donegal.
Okay.
And they're from the brand Kinnigar.
Kinnigar.
Yeah.
I thought it was Kinnigads, man.
Kinnigar.
Oh, Kinnigar. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
One is a Donegal lager.
Right.
And it's got a tractor with bunny rabbits on it.
Oh, how beautiful.
It was really
Such a
nice.
scene to be setting.
Yeah. And then the other one then is that's a Donegal lager, and the other one is a Big Bunny East Coast style IPA, and that's got another bunny rabbit / hare.
Well, you like lager, don't you? So I like the IPA.
Yes, okay. There you are now. Where are those?
All right, let's get this sound going here.
Yeah, but yeah. Fair play to you, Stephen. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Stevie. Bye.
Back
Fair
to
play
the
to you.
old days. Oh my God, that's quite nice.
Now, Ray, we have decisions to make. That is nice, actually. in
I have
fairness.
to give you a disclaimer.
Go on.
Okay. That's very tasty. The disclaimer is, Mark, I've had a rough day.
Okay.
My head is mithered.
From
Phone
work.
calls from work.
All
Phone
right, okay.
calls. I
Like
had some tough ones there now this afternoon.
people giving out to you.
Yes.
Okay, so that's number one. People giving out to you. Okay,
People
that's
with
tough.
serious problems.
That's tough. Was it colleagues giving out or the general public?
General
giving out?
public.
Okay, that's worse than colleagues. I
General
think, as
public
well.
with huge problems and me with no answers.
Yeah, because you can say stuff to colleagues that you can't say to the general public.
Yeah.
Like if Eileen
Like
from
fuck off.
accounts rings you and you say, Eileen, I'm up to my eyeballs here. I'd fucking ring you tomorrow, seriously. But if I ring you as a general public fella giving out, you can't say, fuck Mark, I am up to my eyeballs. Will you fuck off and ring me tomorrow?
No, I had to answer
So
the
you had to
question.
have that voice on all day of the, hi, no worries, I'm trying to deal with you right now.
Yeah.
Which is to a certain extent, and no one's going to give out for saying this, but fake, like civil, that's the civil
No,
servancy.
I'd be straight enough with them now.
Would you?
I would. But there's one thing I've realised I can't deal with at all.
What?
When somebody starts talking about things I've no control over or the past. I'll give you a little example.
Go on, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So, we'll say someone had a broken roof,
Okay.
right? When they launch into a story about how they tried to fix it
Oh, yeah.
6 months ago,
That.
I see the part of my life that's involved in this in conversation slipping away.
Yeah.
And I'm going, stop, Teresa. I don't care about what you did 6 months ago, but you have to say that in a nice way, but I can never manage it.
Yeah.
I always just go, stop, Teresa. What you did 6 months ago to the roof is none of my concern.
Yeah.
As a-
I'm here now.
I'm here now to talk about your future.
Yeah. With
I can't
the
fix
roof.
the past.
Yeah. Like
The roof is as it is.
she said, I tore the shingles out of it 6 months ago, and I probably shouldn't have. I know, but I'm here fecking now. So what do you need from me now?
Oh, I've gone. But the patience has been expended in, I'd say, my 20s.
But you see, the problem is that Irish people, they want to be telling you that kind of stuff. And you're a little bit unlike a lot of Irish people who want to hear those stories so that they can tell people later on in the day. Like
in the podcast that they record later in the evening.
But you know that thing of, well, geez, I had a woman ring me today, waiting to hear what's wrong with the windows. You know what I mean? But you know, you're like, I have another 100 women ringing me, so I can't be listening to you like that.
There is those people in Ireland.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. What did you do 6 months ago, and who did you get to do that?
Yeah.
And really, they meant that bad a job of it.
And then-
what was his name? He's related to such and such.
Yeah, that's your man's uncle. Oh, sure, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
got that fella at all. That is what, because my mother works is kind of in the public sector too, and that would, without disclaiming names to me or whatever, but she
GDPR.
yeah, GDPR and all that. She would say, "Wait, there's a one rang me today,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you one thing. She's only one vaccine in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That kind of shit.
yeah.
Like, but Irish people love that kind of thing.
Not
I
me.
yeah, I know you're not like other ones. Do you know what else Irish people love? And I know it's going off topic. When they find something in common with you, all it takes is like a wink or a nod, and then you're in the same crew, right?
Right.
And what I mean by that is, I was in Skoda yesterday, right?
Oh.
No,
So
not-
clearly you didn't find a Polish lad.
I still
Which-
have not.
Reminds me, were you advised that there was a Polish lad in Ballymote?
I think it might have been Ballymote, yeah.
We got a text from a listener in Ballymote
Right.
Shout out to Rodrigo.
Oh, Roddy.
He says, as far as he's aware, there is no Polish lad in Ballymote.
Well, he just is the same as me then. He hasn't been let in on it. And do you know what the thing is, Rodrigo? You'll be sitting in a pub sometime next year and you're adamant now there's no Polish lads. You'll be sitting in a pub, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you drive, but you'll say, I fucking having an awful problem with the head gasket in the Vectra.
Yeah.
Right? And some old boy beside you'll go, I have a Polish lad that could do that. And then you'll know.
What's more terrifying
Yeah.
is when Rodrigo sitting in the pub in a year's time, hope to God he's sitting in the pub, that someone will actually lean and whisper in his ear, I'm the Polish lad.
That's way better. That'd be way better. Imagine that.
Or even when you're down in the shop, I don't believe we've met. I'm the Polish lad here in Ballymote. Get away, are ya? Yep, that's me.
There is one.
Yeah.
100% there is one. And if it is Ballymote that I heard properly, Roddy, I'll let you know by.
And you know the worst thing about this is, if someone has started with this episode,
Yeah.
as in this is the first episode of the Kendy and Raybo podcast, they've decided, they just think this is out and out racism.
There's certain people you're allowed to talk about, though. You know what I mean, though?
Do you think there's certain
Because-
countries that racism is okay?
No, but just listen to me for a second. I'm saying the Polish lad, and we've been saying it for 2 episodes straight now.
Yeah, we have.
Take another demographic. Just think of another demographic in your head.
Right.
We're both thinking about the same one.
The African lad.
If I...
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something similar to that.
Right.
If I was to say something along those lines, they probably wouldn't be okay. Like,
Yeah.
But there's a certain amount of people you're allowed to talk about. Like,
Okay.
if someone said the Irish lad was said all over
I
the
suppose,
place.
yeah, true. And in
You know?
fairness, there was a lot of racism for Irish lads for a long time.
Fucking, we're still here. That's what I say.
We just took it in our stride.
And do you know what we said? I'm going to build the world around you, you bastard. You won't be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So we just took over, you know?
So anyway, just for those who have it's the first listen to Kendy and Raybo, we're talking about mechanics or tradespeople that may hail from the country of Poland that do jobs better and cheaper
Yeah.
than their Irish counterparts.
Absolutely. And we're talking less shit to
And
you as
doing
well.
it a day earlier.
Because they don't understand you.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
You were in the Skoda garage.
I'm in Skoda, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, I went down to get the tyres changed in my car, right? And Bucky Boo abroad in Modern Tyres down in Finniskillen,
Right.
right? Says he to me, you have no lug wrench, lovey, and there's locking nuts on your car.
Oh,
He said the only way to get them off, we can't do them here. You need to go to the Skoda garage and you need to get them ripped off.
Oh my God. This drives me demented.
Did you have the same
It
problem
drives
before?
me demented. Put tyres in the car and put a special secret key that they don't even sell with the car. They say it's with the car, but it's been lost many years beforehand.
Yes!
It never came with the car.
That's it!
It's basically a secret way of extorting money out of people
The
when they need
bastards.
to change the tyres.
But the thing is, the people in Skoda then, they know that game now. They're sick to death of boys like Kendy going out, because I rang your man thinking I was going to have to explain this story to him. Look, I've no lug wrench there and there's lock it. Come out. I'll see you at 3:30.
Yeah.
He knew straight away.
Okay, this
So-
is a terrible con.
But
and we've become Top Gear by the looks of it, because this is our second episode in a week
Mechanics.
talking about motoring matters.
Well, I've had Skoda problems, Ray.
Yeah.
I got 99 problems and the Skoda is every one of them. Okay?
Right, okay. Sorry. But look, I'm not complaining because I had a tough day and I don't know how good I'm going to be on this podcast.
I know,
But
I
fire
know.
away.
I know, because so here's where we're going, right?
Right,
Let's keep going with the story. So I land out to Skoda, then the boys say, I can't change tyre on your car, Kendy, lovey. I land out to Skoda at 3:30, okay?
Yeah.
And they say, we'll just take off the locking nuts, put on normal ones, which is obviously what they do. Forget about them locking nuts, just put on normal ones, okay?
Yeah.
I land in and I sit down in the waiting room. And
You know you're going to pay too much for this job if they have a waiting room.
yeah, oh my God, that's the thing. What is it about car dealerships? I'm on about the dealerships now because the garage is in the dealership in Skoda.
Right.
Everything is like has an edge. Like all the interior architecture is like all edge, and you're sitting in a seat, there's something sticking up your hole, but the seat looks cool and edgy, and the fucking desk is cool and edgy.
I have a question.
Go on.
There was 2 things, I presume, in this place, and I'm going to ask them now. Thing number 1. A middle-aged lady sitting behind the counter dealing with your calls.
Holy, yeah.
Trace in the office, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's getting on fierce well with all the lads.
Oh, they all love her.
Yeah.
It's so bad, man. That's exactly what
Right?
happened.
Now, if I get the second one,
Okay, come on.
for the purposes of the radio, was it actually a car radio in some sort of a car radio display hooked up to some car radio speakers on Today FM or 2
Oh,
FM?
I know what you're saying when they're displaying what their radios are going to be in the
But
car.
that's the way they play the radio.
That was not in Skoda, but I have seen that before.
Toyota Banana.
I was watching Skoda television, right? wait a second, it was like RTE News now or Sky News, right? The news is coming up. James McLean scores against Qatar. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was like a full interface.
Okay.
Skoda TV. Now, I haven't seen it. It must be around channel 911 or 912 on the Skybox.
Okay.
Because I haven't found that. But anyway, I sit down then to wait for them. It's supposed to be a 5-10 minute job. And I sit beside an old boy. He's a woodwork teacher in a school around Sligo. I won't say which one, obviously.
You obviously talked to him. That wasn't you just sitting there going, he's a woodwork teacher.
Well, that's not good to say.
Do you know, you didn't really put it in context. I sat beside a lad and he was a woodwork teacher.
I had to presume he had a lot of splinters. He had a lot of splinters.
He was reading the Leaving Cert woodwork curriculum. He was correcting tests as I was sitting beside him. I didn't need to speak to him. I knew what he was.
And he was splintered out of it.
Yeah, okay.
And he had a H2 pencil behind his ear. So, he just sits down and I just sit down and he's looking at me for about 10 or 15 seconds and he starts smiling and he goes...
That must be uncomfortable.
He says, what model have you?
Oh.
And I immediately felt part of a Skoda group, if you know what I mean. Okay. I was like, I have the Octavia, like, you know, and he was like, I have the Superb myself.
Yeah, big time in you.
Nice yoke now, nice yoke, he was saying, right? But he went in, this is how they get you. Wait and hear this one. He went in to get his car, his Skoda, serviced. And he walked out 2 hours later with a brand new 221 Skoda. Or 211. Yeah.
He bought one.
I says to him, you came in here for a service, it was supposed to be 140 quid. You just bought... He said, fuck it. Sure, just buy a new one anyway. I felt like, what?
Stop now, you're getting to me.
Why?
Because...
That's a Ray move, though.
No,
that is a fucking Ray
it's
move,
not.
Man.
It's a Ray move if Ray was the Ray he could have been. Right?
Well, I'll get to that a little bit later, too.
Ray had everything ahead of him. When he started the civil service, Ray could have been that guy.
I know.
Because he has the good, pensionable, long-term, full-time, permanent job.
Yeah.
On the good wage, right? Now, if Ray hadn't had the crack that he had in his 20s, early 30s, right? Ray would be buying 211s.
I know, and I feel the same way though. And you're way more secure than I am.
Instead, I'm really happy in my 04 Focus.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. How much happiness does Bucky Boo get out of his brand new Skoda?
Oh, I'd say the new car smell goes a long way to start with.
That's
I'd love that. The Magic Tree just isn't the same.
The Magic Tree is there or thereabout, though.
It's not. It's different.
I feel like he got that wallop of... Imagine the adrenaline of knowing that he went in to service his car and walked out with a new one. And imagine the devilment in his head of going, I can't believe I'm after fucking buying a new car. What happened was, right, he went in, and there's a reason I was there for 3 hours, by the way. It was supposed to be a 10-minute job. All my lock nuts were stuck. They had to drill them out of the car.
Jesus.
It was like surgery. I was sitting there for 3 hours staring at this book.
Right.
He went in with his 18 Skoda.
Yeah.
Superb, right? He says, while you're servicing it there, will you price it up for me? How much would you give, you know?
Oh, my God.
Isn't it mad?
It's like Dream
Your
World.
one that you're on about. The
Teresa.
woman, Teresa that you're on about, surrounded by boys.
Yeah.
She's the saleswoman, right?
Yeah.
She comes out and she says, Bucky Boo, I'll give you 15. He says, literally says, let's step into your office and have a chat about it. I was like, you old bitch. He walked out to me and he said, all right, I got it. I said, man, you came in for a service, like.
Yeah.
And you left. He didn't even drive his own car out of the place again. He drove it straight out of the showroom. This is what went on, right? I am on my knees, okay? Listen to me for a second. I've never been out to Skoda Sligo. Burns is there. Lovely spot and all that. I've never been out there, right? I'm driving a pretty decent Skoda. It's a 2013. And like, it took me a lot to get into a position where I could buy that car, we'll say.
It did.
I was in Skoda yesterday. We're in the middle of a pandemic where more people are out of employment than ever before, right? And we're wondering where the money is because they're telling us that the economy is still growing.
It's woodwork
Where
teachers.
is it?
They have it.
He drove a brand new Skoda out, right? Some other boy came in, right, in a pair of bad Asics. Bet to bits, by the way, now. They were bet.
He was, or the Asics were?
No, the Asics were bet to bits.
Right.
Right? He had a bad pair of Wranglers on, right? He had the belt hanging down one side of the leg. I haven't done that since 2004, right? He drove out in a brand new Kodiak, the big Jeep. He drove it out. I thought that was only in films. The two of them, they opened up the big doors in Skoda,
and drove them out.
And they fucking drove 2 cars out of the place. And I'm sitting there, and your one is offering me a coffee, and I'm afraid to say, yeah, I'll have one in case I have to pay for it. That was my day. She was saying, do you want a coffee? And I was like, if I say yeah, am I going to have to give her $2.50 now?
Yeah.
That was my fucking worry, right? There was a bike, right? Skoda are big into the racing bikes as well. I couldn't even have put down a down payment on the bike that was inside in the showroom, and mine won the Kodiaks of the Superbs. And I'm sitting there with a 2013 thinking I'm doing all right. It was by far the oldest car there, second hand included. Like,
I'm sorry.
I was absolutely sick.
I don't mean to laugh
man.
at your misfortune.
But the point of this whole story was that Irishism. It was another Irishism of your man going, we both have Skodas. Do you want to talk about them for an hour and a half? Like that, you know what I mean?
That's true. If only he didn't get up and leave you for dust.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh.
But it got me to thinking about that again, about those life choices that I made along the way that got me to where I am now. Like, and I've been pretty freelance for my whole life.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I've never been settled, if you know what I mean. But it means that material things for me are harder to grab.
Yes.
Now, material things for you are harder to grab because you squandered a lot of
squandered the money. Yeah, poor financial management. It's getting better now. It has solidly improved in the last year.
Yeah.
Based on 2 factors.
You're out, lad.
3 factors. It's based on 3 factors. 1, yeah, lad.
Yeah.
2, the fact that there's been a pandemic and there hasn't been nearly as much opportunity to go on holidays or drink the face of myself or buy fancy things or go to fancy weddings.
Yeah, and none of which you need. Holidays you need. The fancy things was your big problem.
Yeah.
Go on anyway.
And 3, herself has really helped because she's like the voice of reason. She's kind of gone, you don't need that.
Yeah. Because do you get that thing that I get? I get it in smaller scales, right? Because when I'm awake at night, I'll be on Amazon. And I'll order a HDMI cable that's supposed to be better than the one I already have. Wait, you know what I mean?
Would you?
Like, I'd do shit like that. Like, I'd order Wallop now. Absolute Wallop. But that would have cost me 15 quid.
Yeah.
I've seen you presumably lie awake at night and spend $8,000 on a PA. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen those kind of impulses.
I wouldn't lie awake. I'd go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I'd have a bought before I went to sleep.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you're not going to buy it in your sleep. Like.
No, but I wouldn't be thinking about it all night. I'd have it done before I go to bed.
Yeah, but I'd be the same. Like,
but it's stopped now. Thank God.
So that's done.
Laura goes, no, you don't need that.
And have you stuff that still needs selling?
What? Of course, but no one will buy it.
I think when this pandemic started last year, I think we promoted selling that PA you bought on this podcast.
Possibly.
Is it still not sold?
So just for anyone who don't remember this, but just before the pandemic started, I went out and splashed out money I didn't have. I didn't have it.
Ray has never came out of the Celtic Tiger. He still thinks it's Celtic Tiger.
Yeah. No, I know it's not.
You don't know.
It's just I haven't been able to get out of it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought a PA, which I had a bit of a grow for. And the only reason I had the grow for is because I seen it back in Joe O'Neill's, which was a fancy speaker shop back in the day, down in Glenamandy.
I mean, like, when you were into music back then, and I think we have talked about this before, that was like going to Smith's.
Oh, it's the best toy shop
when
ever.
you were kids. It was unbelievable.
And you wouldn't necessarily want to go because they treat you like shit in there.
Oh, we talked about this.
Do you know something? You in the Skoda garage.
Yeah.
That's what you felt like in Joe O'Neill's.
Yeah.
You're not what you call a Michael Fleming.
It was way worse than that, right? And I have a lot of respect for this guy. Lord rest Joe O'Neill, by the way. He was a gentleman, right? He was the only man ever that had a Jaguar with like a Focus engine in it.
He was the only man ever that had a speaker shop in Glenamaddy.
Yeah. But he supplied like KME to everyone. Anyway, my point was, there's another boy there called Joe Caniff who's actually a gentleman, and so is his daughter, and they're tremendous at what to do. I've worked with them loads in the meantime.
Joe's a lovely fella.
But when I was a teenager, like, he'd be big leaguing me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd walk in and say, Joe, I need to rent a PA there for a gig, and I would have been 15, like, you know, and he'd look at the other fella in the shop, and you know that head tilts, like, where, you know,
this fella, huh?
Look, this fella, he wants to rent a PA.
Does
15.
What have we got?
I'd be so fucking embarrassed. I'd feel like going, Joe, please, just give me the PA and fuck off big leaguing me, man. Why are you big leaguing me?
Yeah.
Be off with his name of Kendy. They're 30 years business with him.
Yeah, doesn't
But
matter.
It didn't matter.
You hadn't proven yourself.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I hadn't proven myself. It's like saying to me, like, it's like me saying, how's things, man? I want to drive that Formula 1 car to someone who knows about Formula 1.
Yeah.
Mick Schumacher, even though he's fucking whatever.
Yeah.
He was saying, you can't drive 1,000 watts of power out of a Dynacord. You wouldn't have a clue. You're 15.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying to me.
Oh.
And but it was so, disheartening to a way to go there. But when you went there with the owl fella, when I went there with my owl fella was big, sexy around Roscommon at then.
All right.
So he would have had the.
He would have been a celebrity.
Oh yeah, Eamon
Right.
Kendy walking in. They would have put the fags out and everything. They would have said, "Get the air freshener out by Eamon Kendy in the house."
Yeah, and he'd get prices on things.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure.
Because when I'd walk in They wouldn't even tell me how much things cost. That was my problem because I seen this big beautiful PA and I said, how much is that? And the boys just turned around going, you don't need to know.
That's why you used to piss me off so much.
That's why I bought it.
They'd say
Well, it was when it was 12 years older and second hand and going for nothing.
what they'd do is I'd go in thinking, right, I know in my own head, Kendy, be confident, right?
Yeah.
Walk in there, stand up straight and tell them you need 1,000-watt rig to rent for this weekend. And I'd say, how's things joking if I need 1,000-watt rig for this weekend? And he'd say, what do you need that for? What gig are you doing? Jez, you won't need 1,000.
No.
You know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, fucking just give it. I want to give you money. My mammy gave me money, give me the money. I wanted to show it to you.
There's been a real pattern in the last couple of weeks in your stories.
Yeah.
I want to give you money.
That's what
And everywhere you go, if it's mechanics or speakers, they all turn around and say, nah.
I know, and that is the point of everything.
Right.
You've hit it there now. The nail in the head is that what is wrong with Irish people that they have to ask 1,000 questions when you want to give them money? That's what's wrong, because they're feckin' nosy.
Okay.
That's why they're feckin' nosy. I think your man Bernard O'Shea, he had a thing there. If you ask a German person for directions, they'll say, "Yeah, go down here, turn right, go up the road."
Right.
Bernard O'Shea said, if you ask an Irish person, they'd say, "Well,
Why are you going there?"
Yeah, why do you want to go there?
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking what's wrong with us. We ask too many questions. Because we want to go home and tell the missus when we go home, wait and hear what your man said today. Joking if was laughing me out of it when we went home to the missus every night. I had a fella come in, he wanted 1,000-watt PA, flute.
Do you find yourself ashamed of when you were younger?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before. Listen how quick I answered that question, right? Seriously. It could barely come out of your mouth and I
So
said,
you were ashamed?
Like, I'm embarrassed. I've said this only a couple weeks ago. I'm embarrassed of who I
Was
as a kid.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think we look back at this moment in our life and
Yeah.
have audio
Yeah.
evidence of
Yeah.
how much of an idiot we were?
Ray, yes, we will. 100%. But it's coming to terms with that, though. It's the same way that we get embarrassed by how we used to look back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going to be embarrassed of how I look now, man. Look at the head of it. Look how fucking long my hair is.
It's beautiful.
You like it?
Yeah, you look like one of the Musketeers.
Anyway, that is what one.
That's the starting opening bit to the podcast.
That's the opening bit.
Yeah.
It was probably too long for an opening bit,
And
but
can
it
we
is what it
please
is
call
anyway.
it 107?
107.
Big old sexy 107 FM.
Ba, ba, ba. Boo, boo, boo. That's usually what the radios do or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, come here. Do you want to get into a bit of schmutz there? Because
I hope to God we haven't the same schmutz.
I really
and by
hope
the
that.
way-
I doubt we have the same schmutz though, because
Okay.
I realized that by looking online over and over and over again and scrolling through videos on my phone, I realized that technology has now gone far enough, right? I used to say to a friend of mine that technology has gone far enough and we can stop inventing shit whenever I can fart and send him a smell on WhatsApp.
You've mentioned this several
Right?
times.
That's what I used to think was the parameter. But there's a new one now, right?
Okay.
Because people are wasting technology out there. Fucking hilarious as it is, they're wasting technology out there. There's a camera now that you can get that costs thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pounds. And it records at 28,000 frames per second. Just think about that.
It doesn't make any sense.
28,000 frames per second. So 28,000 little tiny pictures every second.
Okay.
This is huge technology. I watched a fella on Facebook use it to slow-mo wallop his friend in the face with a football. So, what are we doing here? Like, you know?
You think it's a waste of the goodness?
The camera is used like it should be used for either the best filming in the world or actually scientific shit.
Yeah.
This fella got a size 5 O'Neill's and kicked it into his friend's jaw, and then they watched it back in slow-mo.
Can I have a look at that after we record?
Yeah, I will show it
Thank
to
you,
you
that'd
after we
be-
post it.
And that just
no,
shows
no,
you.
don't get me wrong. This shit is hilarious.
It's very good for the humanity. Humanity needs cheering up at the minute.
Well, maybe, but that's the thing, you see. That's the stuff that's of value to us nowadays. If we invent something that can film at 28,000 frames per second, what's the most benefit we'll get from that? Likes, shares, comments.
Yeah.
So let's kick a football into our friend's jaw and slow it down. And I bit, man. I bit. That was the funniest shit I ever seen. His face contorted so... Do you know how much your face moves when you get hit with a ball? I got hit with a ball in the face so many times when I was a kid, man.
And now you
But
know what it looked like.
Now I know what it actually looks like. I understand concussion now when people run into each other in rugby. His face, man, it was like a cartoon. It went around one side of his face and then he had to shake it back to the front again.
Right.
That's what I got up to this week.
That's great.
But
Sorry, I was going to say that one. This is a bit like last week in the Windows 95 question. Kendy is scraping all the barrel.
listen, I mean, what else am I supposed to get into? Okay, first of all, though, before we go any further, let's talk about the new, because there was an announcement yesterday.
Yes.
So we usually try and touch on them. As much as we try and keep COVID out of this because it's supposed to be a bit of crack,
Yep.
and I try and not watch the news, we must touch on the fact that there was another announcement last night.
There was.
And that they're opening the doors slightly ajar before they want it to into our faces again.
Well, they could have cut it down a bit.
Right. Go on.
The way I look at it, they could have just said, Mihal could have come out and said, lads, do you know what you're doing at the minute?
Yeah.
Even though you're not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
Well, now you can do it.
Yeah.
Now you can do it from the 12th of April. So we're basically saying
That's
two
such a-
households can meet up outside, no problem.
yeah.
We know you're doing it already. Now it's legal.
Yeah, isn't it mad?
You can travel outside your 5K, but within county, you're doing it already. But now it's going to be legal.
Well, that's such a good point, though, because the one point I did want to make is that I have nothing against them, Ray, and I'm not giving out that it shouldn't be happening either.
Yeah.
But I am sick to fucking the back of me teeth of running into cops on the road and them asking me, where are you after? Are you on an essential journey? It feels like we're living in a prison camp.
Oh.
Everywhere I go, I'm getting stopped by guards. Where are you going? Are you on an essential journey? And I feel like ripping my eyeballs out of my head. And I know they don't want to be asking that question either. Like,
But I haven't met these at all.
have you not? Well, you're stuck in the house, man. I'm driving around the place.
I'm
not supposed to
respecting
be.
the 5K rule.
No, but they're parked every day. They're parked out at
Where?
the roundabout by McDonald's and Homebase and all
What are
that.
you doing out there?
Pierce Road, boy. Should I be driving around? I'd be doing bits and pieces.
What bits and pieces?
You have to do bits and pieces around town.
I know what you're doing.
I was in Homebase today looking for a lug nut for the fucking Skoda.
I know what you're doing. You're going up to Harvey's Norman.
Yeah. And
Which is, at the moment, the greatest attraction in Sligo.
Listen, it's like a fucking theme park up there. Nothing, listen to this. Nothing's open, lads, out there, okay?
No, it's
Nothing
not.
is fucking open, right? Me and Nicola tried to drop clothes down to a clothes bank today to give to charity, like. We tried to drop them into a charity shop today. That is closed, and there's a big sign saying, because of COVID, we can't accept your donations now, right?
Yeah.
That's how bad this is. But if
Harvey
you want to
Norman.
go up and look at new laptops and tablets and TVs
And espresso machines.
and espresso machines that are about 800 quid,
Or try and find a George Foreman with an on and off switch.
come here, wait to hear about the George Foremans, right?
Impossible.
Anyone from Sligo who knows Sligo people is going to get this, but I have a George Foreman downstairs, but I don't call it a George Foreman, I call it a George Gorman.
What?
I call
Do
it a
ya?
George Gorman, yeah. I say, Nicola, throw the sausages at the George Gorman.
That's very funny. That's named after George E. Gorman, is it?
Georgie Gorman, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope someone belonging to Georgie listens and tells him that I call my meat after him. So, come here. What we had about? Harvey
You
Norman.
just said that you call your meat after George Gorman.
Yeah, I call my meat after Georgie Gorman. Harvey Norman. So, you go in and it's like Disneyland in there now because nothing else is fucking open.
Yeah,
and I
big
went in
spot.
there and I bought an internet booster yesterday. I might have bought a couple of HDMI cables as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
All essential.
All essential stuff. Obviously, giving clothes to the poor, that's not essential, but going in to buy your little internet boxes, completely essential.
Very essential.
And you can wander around the place like it's no one's business.
You can look at couches. Behind the yellow tape.
Yeah, but do you know what the thing is? People aren't giving a fuck about that though, Ray. You
But
know,
they-
you
crossing
said
the yellow
it.
tape.
Yeah, but you said it though. You said that the government are going to let us do the stuff that we're already all doing anyway because we're fucking fed up, right?
Yeah.
That's another one of them. They have big yellow tape all around Harvey Norman saying you can't sit in the couches because you're not allowed to buy couches now because they're not essential.
Well, you can buy them online.
Yeah,
That's
but
the whole
there's-
idea.
Yeah, well, sorry, that's the idea. You can buy them online. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I just see people just going in. I saw a fella nearly having a fucking snooze in one of the beds in there yesterday.
See, that's something they should have said yesterday.
He nearly
You can
pulled
now
the
sit
duvet
on
up.
the couches in in there.
I saw a book nearly, honest to God, having a nap inside in one of the beds. He nearly pulled the duvet over, man. He was listening to a podcast, I think. I was like, what the fuck? You're not supposed to be beyond the yellow tape, man. But Harvey Norman is class to go into now.
Yeah, if you have it near you in your 5K,
Well, we just got a brand new one here at Christmas. Like it's unbelievable. The place is class.
that and the new road.
Where's the new road?
There was a slip road opened up here in Sligo.
Oh man, and I slipped into it a few times.
It's unreal.
Oh man, I was slipping all over the thing today. Even you can get out to Finiscalin now.
Yeah.
In about 5 minutes.
Sorry to everybody who listens from outside of this town.
Doesn't matter. Let's
We'll stop it there now.
no, they know it from the excitement in our voice how much it means to this place.
Before we get off the local matters that nobody cares about.
You just said we're not allowed to talk about them.
But there's one thing I have to say.
Go on.
You might remember a couple of podcasts back, I pointed out that the good lads in the Rover Coffee Lab,
Oh yeah.
which, again, if you're not from Sligo, you won't know anything about,
Uh-huh.
they were using oversized bags for their lemon fingers.
And I mean, that story in itself, like that kicked Ray. A lot of people really fucking hit with that story.
Yeah, well, I went into the gallery cafe shop.
Happy.
I went in there today, right? And Laura in the gallery has her own lemon drizzle squares,
Right.
right? With the appropriate size bag.
Oh, so she's on the ball.
She pointed it out. She said, just so you know, Ray, there you are. I can do you up 11 square.
Oh, Laura's been listening.
So,
well, look, just to let you know, don't go to Rover Coffee anymore then.
don't stop that now.
Boycott Rover. Boycott Rover. Boycott Rover.
Sorry, Dan.
Okay. Dan, I'm not saying that, man. I just heard that he uses little African children to get the beads out. I don't know, but I'm only saying. So stick with the gallery is what I'd be saying. No, I'll go to both.
That's the end of the local affairs.
Local affairs are done, okay?
Yeah.
I started diary and journaling. I started journaling because I saw all the young ones and we talked about it on this program before. So I journaled again. Do you want to just hear this kind of shit? I'll I just read it out and let it be?
I think this time, because I remember listening back to the last episode and you kind of just jumped into it and caught people by surprise.
Yeah.
So this time,
let's do that.
We are now going to hear an excerpt from Kendy's journal from this week.
Okay.
Okay.
This was done on the 29th of March.
Lovely. Good day.
How many hospital shows can there possibly be? Herself is literally watching a different one every day I go downstairs, right? The latest one is about an autistic laddie who's a doctor in the hospital. He tips around the place, blowing everyone's minds by looking at the patients and knowing exactly what's wrong with them. It's called The Good Doctor, I think. Then in his spare time, he bangs some tremendous woman. That is some life. Where along the way, and this is where I get into what we were talking about earlier, where along the way did I make choices that eliminated that kind of lifestyle for me?
You didn't have autism. You didn't have any autism.
Stop.
Hold yourself blessed.
Stop at me. I was on about packing the young ones.
When you were on specifically about this doctor who had the reason of it.
Ray, this is my journal.
No, I know it's your journal. But let's stop for a second now. The reason he's class at his job is because he had the autism and he can see things other people can't. And I presume that's the reason he's banging all the nice young ones.
Ray, it's not the Sixth Sense, man. He can't, like...
I thought you were talking about House for a minute. I thought it was the book with the cane.
That's another one as well.
He's just a dad with a bad attitude.
Ray,
Sorry.
I have never felt so, threatened. Like, this is my journal.
That's why I'm not a counsellor.
Have you any idea how hard it is for me to share this shit with people?
Sorry.
This is my innermost thoughts. Like.
Fire away. I won't comment again.
Like, I came into this world fairly parallel with everyone else around Castlereagh. But somewhere along the way, my chances of becoming a doctor and being a millionaire, tipping tremendous women, went out the window. And it's hard to put my finger on where it went off track. It might have been the time I pulled the fire alarm in the gym because it looked shiny and I knew I wasn't supposed to. That's a story we'll get into again. That just came into my head when I was writing. Anyway, I have a point to make here, so I may write it down before I forget because I think it is a good one. After watching loads of these doctors and hospital dramas, I have noticed one thing. Maybe you would all save more patients if you stopped riding each other. Every doctor in every show is riding each other.
Right.
2 doctors in a room, a patient is in excruciating pain lying inside in the lab. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with the poor old devil, seemingly working hard and showing genuine concern for the patient. All of a sudden, sexual tension. How? What? Cut to the next scene and your man is above on top of the female doctor and the patient dies the next day and they're all wondering what the fuck happened. Well, maybe if we were concentrating on them instead of slobbering all over each other, they actually might have fucking survived. Anyway, the moral of the story is, for these shows, more doctoring, less riding. And that was my journal from the 29th of March. Do you get the point I'm trying to make, though? Every single one of these fucking doctor shows, ER, right, The Good Doctor, House, and what's that one ever? Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
And what about Scrubs?
Scrubs, all of them, right? What happens
Scrubs.
Is, right, they go in, they say, we don't know what's wrong with this person, they're dying. And then all of a sudden the 2 doctors are riding and that person dies. And they go, I mean, we just lost another patient. What are we supposed to do? Maybe fucking concentrate on your job and stop riding your colleagues.
Okay. Pause. Right? Just pause for a minute.
Okay.
Let's take a breath. Can you name a show that's not about hospitals, that's about some other sort of profession?
Cops.
Right. Let's have a look at a cop show. Can I ask you, would there be a similar level of this tipping in the cop show?
This goes straight to the top, Ray.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know?
It's a good point, like.
Is that a good point?
So you mean...
What I'm trying to get at here is, this is television.
Yeah.
Right? There's a certain element of the sexual nature that makes it appealing for us to watch.
Has to be in it.
Yeah. So whether it be about doctors or cops or people working in a supermarket.
Yeah.
You know?
There's always someone riding.
Yeah.
So that's more on us than you're saying, really, is that's what we're into.
It seems that's what we're in, but is it not like, okay, I'll bring it back a little bit,
Okay.
right?
Let's reverse it.
Let's reverse it a bit further, starting to dissect it a small bit. I think any workplace has a certain amount of that.
Okay.
Would you not agree?
In real life, you
was there
mean?
much riding in hot fuss?
I fucking, man, I wouldn't even throw a finger out in hot fuss, man. I don't mind him, Mickey.
Right, okay.
If I had a bag of Mickeys, I wouldn't be giving it to one of them.
Didn't you work a little while in the pensions office?
You think I was riding Bridget in the desk next to me?
You didn't have to be doing it, but were you aware of stuff going on in the pensions office at the time?
Not when I was there.
Maybe you weren't there long enough.
No, but though, I know people who do work in not you now,
okay,
who work in the public sector, and I know that shit does go down.
Yeah.
So you think it's very close to real life, this stuff?
I don't think it's too far off.
I don't think if I go up to Sligo General, actually, what the fuck? What am I talking about? There was a person stabbed in Sligo General Hospital last year because of an affair that was going on in there.
There you go.
Do you remember that?
No, but I'm happy that you've proven my own point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start journaling.
I could try it.
It's infuriating to watch, but anyway, that's it. You blew my mind there.
Sorry, now you see, this is me. I have a problem.
What?
I go for the solve.
Yeah, you have to go. Let's think about
Hold
this
on now
practically.
a minute, Jaxie.
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's so true, though.
I should have just. I'm trying to work on listening. I'm trying to work on listening and just agreeing with you and going. Yeah.
I
you
know.
did right.
Because a podcast doesn't work unless there's counterpoints.
I know, but even for our own relationship as a couple.
Yeah.
Do you know? As a couple of friends.
Maybe.
I need to listen more.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. It's you. It's all you, boy.
Is it all me now?
Yeah, it's all you.
Welcome to the Raybo end of the podcast. Yeah. People at home going, oh shit, now that's my favourite bit over.
Yeah, we've listened to this fella now.
Yeah. I have some questions.
Go on.
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? Tomorrow is Holy Thursday.
Yes.
It is an Easter episode that we're doing.
It is.
107 is an Easter episode.
Yeah, I never thought of that, actually.
You didn't, and I want to ask you some questions.
Go on.
What is your understanding of Easter?
My understanding of Easter is, and have I said this before?
I want you to start with, for starters, on the religious side, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Holy Thursday. What happened Holy Thursday?
On Holy Thursday, they sat down.
Right.
For a meal?
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how the story starts.
So they went to KFC. There was 13 of them?
No.
Was there?
There was, I suppose. Yeah.
There was 13 of them, right?
There was himself and the 12 apostles.
Yeah, and while Jesus was talking,
yeah,
one of them, Judas, was texting the Romans on his phone everything that he was saying.
Yeah.
Isn't that the idea?
Well,
so he was like, oh, he's after saying here now that he's going to be hanging around tomorrow if you want to get him, that kind of thing.
Right. So
love-hate job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at when he come out of the bushes in the Garden of the Gethsemane.
Yeah.
I'm going to shift him.
That's
how you know.
Yes, that's what it was. He said, "You'll know." They were saying, "We don't know what this fella looks like."
I'll shift him.
He said, "Wait, and I shift him, and you know who he is."
Like there was so many other things, Judas, he could have done.
He could have pointed at him.
That's him there.
That's him. There he is.
Do you know you have to? No one ever asks these questions. Why did Judas tell the Romans?
It's the fella I'm shifting.
Yeah, I'm going to go over and tap him on the shoulder. Anything. I'm going to go over and kiss him on the face.
Yeah, I'm going to shift the jaw of him.
Yeah.
So that was Holy Thursday.
Can you imagine the confusion on Jesus' face?
What
are you doing, Judas? That's just weird.
Yeah, but maybe he was into it though. Maybe, I'm only saying.
Don't go down this road.
Blasphemy as it may be. Maybe they were having a relationship.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
It's just platonic love.
If you weren't having a relationship, Ray said that's against the Bible.
So, was there something else on Holy Thursday that happened? Cleanliness.
What?
It being next to godliness. Was there an event? Now, you'll remember this from your Holy Thursday Mass.
Yeah.
One of the big moments.
About 15 years. What happened?
They cleaned the feet.
Who cleaned whose feet?
Jesus cleaned all the lads' feet to show that because even though he was the big man, that he could still lower himself to cleaning their feet.
You don't think he was stuck for money?
Like one of them, what do you call the things you go in and get the things with your feet?
Shoe shines.
Not a shoe shine. You're when you you get them kind of in America a lot.
A foot spa.
A foot spa.
You think he was a full spa?
No, what do you call the little places? You go in and get
a pedicure.
A pedicure, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he was doing a little Feet Tech level 5 pedicure course?
You listen to me for a second, Ray. If you had just fed 13 people right out of your own pocket, you'd be stuck for money as well. And you'd be saying, lads, come here, I'll shine your feet for €2.
Right.
That's what would have happened there, I would presume anyway.
Right.
Good Friday.
Good Friday then, things went bad. for Jesus.
Sour enough, man.
Sour.
He done some walking.
Did some walking.
That's where marathon came from.
With a weight.
He had to carry the cross abroad,
Yeah.
up onto a hill, and then
Yeah.
they pinned him onto it.
They did.
Right? And we have looked at that then for 2,000 years.
Yes.
This is the funny thing about it. Of all the tremendous things that Jesus did, right?
Mm-hmm.
The symbol that we use to worship him is the one part where it's like...
It was his least favourite day.
Yeah, like it's like if someone puts their profile picture as like their worst photo, you know what I mean? Don't take a photo. Why would you use that photo as my fucking Tinder profile? I look terrible in it. You could have. What about all the other stuff I done?
Yeah.
They could have picked when he was turning fish into loaves, or loaves into fish, or water into wine.
I suppose that's true. I never thought of that.
Any of the stuff they could have done, and we're looking at him dead, embarrassed above in the cross
Yeah.
for 2,000 years, Ray.
So then, after that, then not a lot happened on the Saturday.
No, on the Saturday, I think everyone was kind of resting. I think some of the boys did football in the morning, and
And then on the Sunday,
yeah, the few would have went to home base, but then they got word that he was above.
he was up.
He was up. They said
He was no longer in the cave where they left him.
yeah.
He had risen.
Yeah, and that's where the word strongman came from as well.
What?
Because he pushed a stone that was about 2 ton out of the way.
Yeah.
They said the tomb is open.
Yeah.
No one. The
No one
lights
there.
are on. No one's home.
Right.
And he rose from, and then we all settled down in order to worship, and we ate chocolate eggs for 2,000 years.
Here's what I want to get into.
Go on.
Right. First of all, let's just talk about the fact that, okay, for all intents and purposes, this all happened. Right? We don't have a proper date for it. The problem I have with Easter is it's never the same time every year. Do you notice that?
Yeah, it's March, April,
You have to
May.
look it up on the Google.
I know, but that's why I never know. I didn't know that this was Easter weekend because
Yeah.
it's not like Christmas where it's always the 25th of December.
Apparently, it's the Sunday after the first full moon of the spring.
Who's looking at the fucking moon, man? Are the dog's watching it like if he's howling?
It's a spring thing,
Right.
right? That's what we're talking about.
Spring loaded.
Spring thing. And it's all down to spring, and the whole thing is centered around spring.
Right, okay.
Rabbits.
What do you mean?
Bunny rabbits.
Okay, what about them?
Would you associate them with Easter?
Oh, I know what you're saying. That's where the eggs come from. Is
no,
that what you're saying?
I'm not even getting to the eggs yet.
Wait, rabbits don't lay eggs.
No, they don't.
What the fuck am I on about?
Have you heard of a thing called the Easter Bunny?
Yeah, the Easter bunny, but he delivers the eggs.
He does on Sunday morning.
Why does a bunny deliver eggs when he doesn't lay them?
This is where everyone got
What
really
chicken is he holding ransom?
It's really confusing, right? So the Easter Bunny and the whole situation around rabbits. Do you want to know why they're tied to the whole Easter thing?
Go on.
Because they're associated with fertility.
Eggs are...
No, forget the eggs. Forget about the eggs for a minute.
Easter bunnies are.
Just
I
Easter
thought that
Bunny
was
or
a
rabbits
star.
in general. No, rabbits are associated with fertility,
Okay.
right? And fertility and doing it like rabbits, as they say, breeding like rabbits,
yeah, that's right.
is a whole spring thing.
Okay.
Because there's an awful lot of procreation at the start of spring.
Rabbits are riding in spring.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You know,
mostly.
We talked about lambs, why they come in spring as well. They only have sex at Christmas. That
Why
sort
they
of stuff.
come in spring? Jesus Christ.
But my point is, the reason the Easter Bunny
Yeah.
and rabbits were associated with Easter was because they were some sort of a pagan representation of fertility.
Okay.
Because they breed like rabbits.
Yeah, breed like rat. They could have picked rats. Go on.
It's a tricky subject. But anyway, that's all that, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you have then eggs.
Okay.
And again, they're fertility. Because there's eggs is a fertile thing, you know?
Yeah, there's fetuses inside an egg.
Exactly. And then on top of that as well, that's where the whole eggs come in, and there was an egg roll and an egg hunt. Where basically a cunt. Basically people
So there was an egg roll and a cunt.
and an
Right.
egg hunt.
Right. And who was the cunt?
But I think this comes from the Jewish side of things, that they used to paint up eggs and hide them around the place.
Yeah, they weren't even chocolate at that time, I don't
No.
think. It's just that Western civilization and fat bastards in modern Western civilization said, look, if we're going to be painting these fucking things and messing around with them, I'd love to eat it.
Yeah.
I want you to love eating chocolate.
Chocolate.
Okay, well, let's make it fucking chocolate then.
So now there's eggs.
And then
So
Lindor, Cadbury's, fucking the
do you
whole lot of them.
remember
Galaxy.
do you remember getting no more than Christmas, you were getting your eggs on Easter Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get them before then.
This is a big problem in society nowadays. I'm glad you said it. Because people are eating Easter eggs a month beforehand.
I'm one of them.
I blame...
I've been flattered. They just taste so much better.
Tastes better in egg form.
Except for the two that I bought last Easter.
Oh.
Last Easter, you might remember, I had a devastating experience. On Easter Sunday morning, I went looking for Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying this.
And we couldn't find. So I'm telling you now, folks, if you're listening to this today being Thursday or tomorrow being Friday or Saturday even, get out and buy them.
Don't
eggs.
leave it.
Don't end up like me Easter Sunday last year with a Thornton's mint egg
Oh, and that cost about 40 quid, I bet you.
and an M&M
Oh.
egg.
But the big problem with the eggs going out early is, one, we have no self-control as people anymore.
No.
We see chocolate, we want to eat the
Well,
arse
you're
of it.
supposed Lent is supposed to kick into that, and you're supposed to be off the sweets.
Yeah, but no one's doing Lent no more.
No,
I haven't done Lent, man, in a long time, boy.
no
I don't
signs
do
are
it.
on you.
But, and also the fact that, and it's like Christmas as well, is that the marketing world wants it to be out earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier because they want to get ahead of the competition. So what happens is you have eggs on shelves about 2 months before Easter,
I have
like.
them all eaten.
Christmas is barely over, like, and they have fucking eggs up, man.
Yeah,
I used to always either get a Whisper one,
good choice.
bit outside the box, but yeah, a Whisper one. Well, I used to eat it when it was outside the box, and I used to always get a Kinder Egg one as well.
Kinder Egg.
Yeah, because you get
that's-
a big sexy toy in it that you think was class for 10 seconds, and you realise I have a PlayStation.
My point is, from all this conversation, isn't Easter fucked up?
Yeah, it is, like, but
It's
I
never
mean,
the same weekend.
yeah, I know, but we kind of just go with it, and to be honest, I'm glad we still do to a certain extent. Not from a religious well, kind of from a religious background too, but more so in it symbolizes something. It symbolizes the start of spring leading into summer. It definitely symbolizes that we're out of the winter, and this year in particular has been an incredibly tough winter. Like,
Has. So we're nearly delighted it's arrived.
we're nearly delighted that we know Easter is now around the corner, or we can just burst into a summer, man.
Yeah.
And I'll be drinking in your back garden very soon.
Very good.
You know?
Not according to the... Actually, well, yeah. If the latest regulations that have come out have said you can keep doing what you're doing, maybe we'll depart from the things that we were doing because we can do them now and try some new things that we're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, we can keep pushing the boundaries all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So
well,
is that the way they communicate with us?
yeah.
Now you can meet up outside with another household.
And now we're going to be inside. Now
Basically, what
without
that means is now we can meet up in each other's back gardens.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Like 100%. That. But you know what the funny thing is, and we have alluded to this before, and I am more than welcoming people to write in and say that I'm being a bastard for saying this.
I don't think
But
you need to say it for
No.
them to write that in.
what I'm saying is, everyone is so fed up now that we're not taking the piss, but we are, as a society, creating our own boundaries, if you know what I mean. I don't think people are going to give out, like, if I'm in your back garden and I'm not supposed to be, is what I'm saying. Whereas this time last year, man, that was fucking hot topic.
What was?
Wasn't it, like?
It was.
But we've all just learned to try and govern ourselves if we're not getting stopped outside home base by the guards asking where is it going.
Have you any shout outs
I don't really think so this year.
this year?
Jesus, Ray, I'm tired.
I thought I was the tired one.
I don't have any this week, I don't think. No.
Right.
Oh, one shout out is if you are listening to this relatively soon, as in Thursday, Friday or Saturday, Gorilla Radio are doing a live stream again on Sunday on Bar Square Ballina's Facebook page. I'm going to be working with them on it as well. Delving outside of my 5K for work reasons. And it's going to be savage. The last one we did on Paddy's Day absolutely walloped. It was class.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are they the third best wedding band? Top in bed.
You want the real answer?
If Brian McDermott is the number one,
And we're number 2.
you're number 2. Would they get the third, or would it be Blue Moose? Or
Can I be honest with you?
65 or who?
They wouldn't even be top 50, man.
Would they not?
No.
Sure. What are you advising people to look at them for? I suppose not a wedding. Different show.
Different thing altogether.
Different show.
Different shark.
Yeah. Oh, I wish we could talk more, but we've probably nothing to talk about.
Alright, look, I mean, I think we've probably given them enough, Ray, to be honest.
I think so too.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else on your mind?
Not really anything else on my. I think I shouted enough. I've noticed lately that when I start shouting, I get out of breath a lot. And
You need to get out and climb mountain.
yeah, I have some respiratory problems. So
Would you come for a walk someday?
yeah, I go for a walk with you, but we're not supposed to be walking. But again, if you
What
want
do
to
you
give,
mean we're not supposed to be
if you
walking?
want to give out to me and Ray for going walking, because we're not supposed to be mating now.
Mating.
Mating?
Meeting.
No, meeting, yeah, mate. It's meeting in
I
Wisconsin.
know we're not supposed to be mating.
We won't be mating, man. You won't
No.
get within 6 inches of me, you bastard.
No.
And let's go for a walk, Ray. How about that? We wrap this bastard up.
Let's leave it at that for 107 FM.
Lovely.
Fair play to me.
And fair play to me. Good
Good
luck.
luck.